Hello, everyone. My name is Donnie Gilmore, and this is going to be my Human Services 508 Interpersonal Communication Project. And the teacher is Dr. Glenna Dunn, and this is going to be for Liberty University, as you could tell, of course. And a few things we're going to discuss. It's just going to be my overarching goals into becoming a better communicator with my family, my friends, my employees, just anyone I may come into contact to. So let's go ahead and get started. In the book Bridges Not Walls, Stewart defines interpersonal communication as the type or kind of communication that happens when the people involved talk and listen in ways that maximize the presence of the personal. And so for me, over the last few weeks, I've been learning a great deal about interpersonal communication and just knowing now that it's vital to all my relationships that I have with everyone, including God, including with my wife, with my family, with my friends. So I'm just learning so much about myself, about my own personality blend or my behavior blends. So I'm learning a great deal that's really been helping me to connect on a higher level with the people that I really and truly care about. And so now I'm just trying to become better in every aspect of communication that I can to build healthier relationships. My overarching goal for communication is a twofold goal. First, I want to become more assertive in my conversations or communications with other people. And when I say assertive, I don't mean aggressive. I just mean speaking more of what I'm feeling at the time and not being so reserved as I am right now. And the other aspect is that I want to become closer to God by listening to His voice. So whatever He's telling me, I'm always listening, I'm honing in, and I'm just getting rid of all the distractions so that I could hear Him clearly. So these are my overarching goals. One is on a talking level, and the other is on a listening level because I know there's room for improvement in both areas of my life. So I took the self assessment through uniquelyu.com, and I found out that I'm a type S. I have a type S behavior blend, a personality style, and I think it is fairly accurate because it perceives us as, or even Carbonell puts it, that we want to serve humanity. And I really feel that God really has blessed me with the servant's attitude, a servant's spirit, and it's something that I enjoy about myself, and I know others also enjoy it. And sometimes we can be taken advantage of because we just always have a natural will to help any and everyone that we can. So just finding this out about myself, I'm just trying to tweak some of the things in order to become, I would say, a stronger S. So with my personality type, it's being a type S, of course, in everything in life. You're going to have your negatives and you're going to have your positive influences being the person that you are. And a few of my negative influences having the S personality type. So one, it gets me into a lot of trouble because I usually bite off more than I can chew because just always wanting to help, always wanted to just share with others and listen to others, just being someone that genuinely cares. I always want to help, and usually I stretch myself out too far and become tired really fast, and that's something I'm learning that I have to start controlling, and I have to start setting boundaries in my own life so that I will be able to help people in the way they need without becoming overwhelmed. And with my positive influences, I would say most of all, it allows me to listen with empathy, just being empathetic with whoever I may be listening to. And I try not to be judgmental as far as jumping to conclusions, just being genuine. So I know it really helps me to gain respect by listening to others And I know the way it goes over with a lot of my friends and a lot of my family. They always say, "Thank you for listening," even if I don't have much to say at the time. So I say that's really a positive thing that can come out of it. Just seeing people solve their own problems, it's a big pat on the back to me without even having to say anything. Just trying to display the heart and the attitude of Christ through my communication. There are three communication barriers that I need to work on, and they are nexting, ownership, and self-disclosure. And with nexting, it is what we do or say after someone says or does something. And I know in my own life, I haven't always been the best at deciding what to do next, especially on the spot, or if I'm upset, if I'm running off of emotions. I didn't always make the wisest decisions. So I'm just trying to take more control, take more heed to what I do next or how I respond to whatever's going on, just to try to make it a more positive outcome than times past. And with ownership, since I'm almost always a listener, I try to take ownership of my friends or my families, their problems whenever they're talking to me as my own, which shouldn't be. So what I'm trying to do now is whenever I'm listening, just be a good listener by actively listening to everything they're saying without jumping to conclusions or without making the conflict my own, because majority of the time it has nothing to do with me. So now I'm learning just when to listen and when to keep my mouth shut and when to speak when it's appropriate. And the last is self-disclosure. And in my life, I have to work on my self-disclosure, because with the people I barely know, I usually say too much, and with the people that are close to me, I usually say too little. So what I'm working on now is just finding a common ground or a balance of knowing what to say and when to say it, and when these things are appropriate to do so that I can enlarge the conversation in a way that will help me build healthier relationships for the long run. All around us, there's constantly noise going on. Right now, there's a airplane flying over me because I live in Virginia Beach by the Oceana base. So there's constantly noise going on, noise pollution, to be more accurate, is what I call or what it's called. And with noise pollution, in the same way that chemical pollution, it makes us unhealthy when it gets into our lungs. It affects our bodies. And with noise pollution, it does the same thing with our relationships. It can make them unhealthy really fast, or even over time, if we continue to allow the same things to pollute our relationships and our communications. So now I'm learning that there are external pollutions. Noise pollution is for as far as cell phones. It could be a computer. It could be any type of distraction that keeps you unattended in that particular communication or relationship you have going. Or even it could be internally. You could be rehearsing in your head what you want to say next, or you could just be thinking about something totally different that's not even pertaining to the conversation. So what I'm trying to do now in my own life, a big thing for me is just having a cell phone always in my hand, and just I gotta have it. I gotta do this. I gotta do that, which isn't true. So now I'm learning to just put it down, and turn away from it, turn it off, whatever I have to do in order to stay engaged, especially with my wife. Staying engaged, it just means so much more knowing that I respect her time and whatever she's saying. It's important to me, and I want to convey that by not having these pollutions, these noise pollutions, always around us, distracting us. And so, with pollution, it's very, very detrimental to any relationship, to any communication that may be going on. in what ways we allow them to affect us. So the big picture that I'm getting at, especially with my overarching goals, because one, I want to become more assertive in my conversations, just really put myself out there, and number two, I want to become better at listening for God's voice and hearing what He has to say to me, because that relationship is the most important one in my life. So just knowing that I want to become better in these areas, my plan of action is to do everything I can to make my relationships better by my interpersonal communication. So I really want to take captive of the things that the thoughts that I have before I'm going to say something next in a conversation, because like I said, nexting is probably one of my biggest problems. So I just want to not let my feelings and my emotions control me, but control my emotions and my feelings, and let them work for the better of conversations to make a more positive outcome. Because just feeding negativity into other people's lives is very detrimental to them, to our relationship. So, and that's just not what I would personally want anyone to do to me. And so, just my plan is to, like I said, do everything I can in order to make my relationships work through my interpersonal communication. I'm going to spend time with God daily, just not only talking, but also listening for His voice and what he has to say to me, because so many times we just pour everything we have onto God and we go about our days, but a lot of times we don't take the time to say, God, speak to my heart. What are you trying to say to me? So I just pray that in my life, just listening to God more than I have in the past would help me make the steps and necessary steps needed in order to make the big picture come together and have healthy relationships in my interpersonal communication across the board, with my family, with my friends, with my employees, with anyone I may come into contact with. And so I really appreciate you guys taking out time to view this video. Thank you, Dr. Dunn, for all of your help throughout these last several weeks, because you have really been a help to me. And I just want to say I'm going to do the best I can, and I pray that you guys do the same. So thank you for listening, and God bless.